Arise, queens. This is the All Queens Army, where women are provided with the tools you need to overcome your fears, face your flaws, and experience breakthroughs as you develop self-esteem so strong you emanate royalty. Now, for your host and commander of the All Queens Army, Breizy Time.
Welcome to the All Queens Army podcast. This is your girl, your host, Breizy Time. I am here today with another dope episode for my queens. Today is Monday, so you know, hashtag Motivation Monday. And what that means is the MotivateHer segment is live and in full effect. So for those of you who don't know, on Mondays, the episodes that I drop, it's just me and you. No guests today. And I motivate the shit out of you guys on Mondays because it's Motivation Monday and the MotivateHer segment. So queens, get ready to be motivated. Get ready to learn something. Everything that I talk about is always from an experience that I had. If you don't agree with some of the things I say, that's okay. These are things that I've learned from my own personal experiences. What I'm going to be talking about today and pouring the tea on is protecting your mind. Also, mindset and how to train your mind. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's very, very important. And I'm going to explain why it's important. And I am going to be telling you guys a story as always. Be sure to grab your queen mug, okay? Because I'm pouring the tea and you need to sip your tea from your queen mug because this is the All Queens Army. I have my mug. You hear it? I have my tea and I'm going to be pouring some tea for you guys. So make sure you grab your queen mug. If you don't have one, they are on the website. So let's get started. So protect your mind, queens. This is the reason that I want to have a conversation with you guys about protecting your mind and why it's so important to protect your mind. Some of you are new queens in the queendom. Some of you I have known for quite some time. So some of you know a lot of these stories that I tell. But I want to talk about protecting your mind because recently I've had conversations with some friends, some family members, just random different conversations. Nothing where they were conversations where people were telling me something secretive or something that I should keep to myself, but just in everyday conversations with different queens and even some of our kings, what I've noticed is that our minds are being attacked. That's what I've learned. We really have to, now more than ever, protect what we allow to seep into our mind and what we allow to seep into our spirit. We have to be careful what we're being told, what we hear, and then what we believe. Because we have a tendency to just believe things because people tell us. We have a tendency to just believe things because it's what we see on TV. We have a tendency to believe something because someone posted it on social media. We have a tendency to just believe it because we heard it on the radio. And a lot of things that we hear are not necessarily true in the way that they're being told to us. You guys have to understand that we live in a universe and on a planet in which the powers that be attempt to control us with fear. If you think about it, everything is about fear. Everything is about bad news. Everything is about warnings. Everything that we hear is about what could go wrong, what could potentially happen, what problems you may have, what sicknesses you may come up with, what diseases you may come down with. There's so much negativity everywhere we look. Everything we hear subconsciously knitted into the entertainment that we take in every single day. When we watch TV, if you notice the news, I don't watch the news. I have not watched the news in about 15 years. I never watch the news. I never know what's going on. I do not want negativity knitted into my everyday experience of life. I don't want to hear the latest gossip all the time. I don't want to feed into the drama on social media where people are posting things on their life all the time. I don't want to see the fights. I don't want to see the beefs. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to listen to the commercials about the latest drug that can cure this or that can cure that, but then it has 7,000 other side effects. I just don't want to hear it because I don't want to take it into my spirit. I don't want to take it in and allow it to become a part of my reality. And again, I know some of you may say, yeah, but you need to know about these things and you need to be aware. Okay, I agree. But there's awareness and then there's fear. Awareness is knowing that certain foods cause certain problems within our lives, to our bodies. That's awareness. Fear is constantly beating it over your head over and over and over and over again that if you do this, then this is what happens. So to me, there's a huge difference between knowing, which is awareness, and fear. Fear to me is the repetition of it over again and over again and over again. To me, repetition is what we allow to seep into our spirit. Once we fear something, something is just like this belief. Like if you are afraid of it, then you have basically said that you believe that this thing is possible, that you believe that this could be an outcome for you or your family or your children or your husband, your wife, or whoever. Once you believe it, now there's only a matter of time before it manifests in your life in some way, shape, or form. At any rate, I told you, Queens, that I was going to tell you a story, and I am going to tell you a story, okay? Here's something that happened to me a couple years ago. Not that long ago, y'all. It's crazy how life happens, but recently you guys know that I've been talking to some people close to me, and they've been sharing their experiences with depression. What's interesting is that while some of these people have shared with me what depression feels like to them, I could actually relate to some of the things that they were telling me how they felt. For example, not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to face the world, not wanting to deal with people, isolating yourself from people. Because there was a period of my life where I did just that. I distanced myself from my friends. I kind of hid, and the only people that I would be open to were like my immediate family, my brother, sister, mother, my son. But I was hiding because I was so embarrassed about something that happened in my life. Like I went through bankruptcy. I pretty much lost everything because I was trying to be an entrepreneur and didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I lost everything. I even lost my condo at the time. And I had to go back and live with my mom. And that sent me into what I would call a state of depression. I was so disappointed in myself because prior to that, I'm a bad bitch. I own my own house at 27. I drove a Benz. I had a booming career in the finance industry. And then here I go, try something new that I've never done before. And I had early success, but didn't know how to sustain that success. And I failed miserably, and I failed publicly for a lot of people to see. And it was very embarrassing. And again, I pride myself on being a bad chick. So imagine me having to face the world in this failure, and it sent me into a dark space. So I went back to live with my mom, and I literally slept on her couch in the basement. Yeah, that whole cliche, that was literally my life. And I did that. And there were days where I would take my son to school and I would come back in the house and I literally would just sit on the couch and watch TV, or I would sit in the house and I would sleep. My mom at the time was helping me pay some of my bills to keep me afloat until I got myself together. I didn't have a job. I started up another business and it was doing okay, but me being in that kind of yucky space was preventing me from consistently doing what I needed to do every day, even to make the business grow. I was doing a lot of talking, but not a lot of action. I wasn't taking care of myself like I used to. I wasn't getting my hair done. I wasn't making up my face. I just wasn't myself. I was in a dark space. I was leaning on my mom financially, and it was so bad. Like for me, what I felt like happened was my confidence had gotten bruised severely. I failed, and I wasn't used to failing in my life. I had to take 10 steps backward, and I wasn't used to that. That's just not who I was. I had been super successful. So how the hell did I get here? What got me here? What got me in such a dark space? I'm going through that. Now, this is over the course of about 7 months. And finally, I don't know what came over me. I just know that, oh, actually I do. Let me rephrase. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember what came over me. There was one night that my mom said, hey, let's get up, let's go to the movies. It was like a Friday night. I was in such a dark space. Like I felt like that there were demons or negative forces that were attacking my life. And I couldn't understand, like I'm talking to God and I'm like, what do you want from me? What do you want me to do? What are you asking of me? What am I doing wrong? Why am I here? What's going on? Why am I being punished? Like I was taking a very victim kind of mentality with it. So I had a really rough day, and my mom, I think, noticed it. She was like, come on, let's go to the movies. I didn't want to go. I just couldn't face the world. I just wanted to sulk, and I just wanted to be in this space, and I didn't want to pretend that I was happy, and I didn't want to be in front of my mom and my son and cry. So I went down the basement and I turned off the lights. And when my mom and my son came in the house, my mom and they didn't even know if I was there, because I could hear them upstairs talking like, well, where is she? You know, blah, blah, blah. Well, my son came down the steps, and I'm gonna get emotional, y'all. I'm such a punk. Y'all get on my nerves, keep making me cry all the time. But I'm trying to be transparent and share stuff with y'all so that we can all grow together. So y'all just gonna have to bear with me. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. But my son came down the steps. It was pitch black, and he never turned the lights on. He came down the steps, and he was like feeling his way through the basement, and he felt on the couch, and I felt his hand touch my face. Like he was trying to see if I was there, one, and he was trying to make sure I was okay. And he put his hand like on my side and he felt me breathing, and he went upstairs and he told my mom she's asleep. So my mom said, well, don't wake her up, let her sleep. And they went on to the movie. So I was in the house by myself. And that day I realized that I had to pull myself out of this funk. I had to pull myself out of this yucky space. I had to get myself together. And to me, I felt like, well, shit, I was the shit. You know, I had such a successful life and I had it all together. Why am I not there? And if I was there at one point, that is proof enough that I can get there again. And I just needed to understand, like, what do I need to do? And so fast forward a couple days or maybe even a couple weeks later, I was leaving my mom's house and I was on my way to go get my son from school. Y'all, at this time, y'all have to think my brain is everywhere. Like I don't have a job, but I do have a business, and I was making some money out of the business. I wasn't making a lot. I was making enough to like pay my cell phone bill, give my mother a couple dollars, buy food, take my son to get his basic necessities. That's really it. But at any rate, I was going to pick up my son, and because my mind was all over the place, I totally forgot that when I got back in the house from taking him to school, I didn't have gas. And in my mind, when I parked, I was like, you know what? When I leave back out to go get him for school, I need to make sure I leave like 10 minutes earlier so I can go to the gas station before I get on the road. Well, I completely forgot. I got in the car and I just started driving and I ran out of gas. I'm literally sitting in the middle of the street with no gas. And I sat there and I closed my eyes. Now it's cars behind me because I can't move. And they're honking the horn and people waving their fists at me, giving me the finger, cussing me out because I'm in the middle of the street. And I'm just sitting there like a fucking idiot and not doing anything because I was stuck. Like my mind was stuck. What I did, I put the car in neutral because I was kind of like on an incline, and I let myself drift backwards and I just parked. Like I just drifted into a parking space because I was on a street where it was street parking. I sat there for literally 10 minutes. I sent my son a text and I was just like, look, I'm gonna be a little late. And he said, okay. So I sat there for like 10 minutes and I was just thinking, and I said to myself, I need to call my mom and tell her I ran out of gas so she can help me because I didn't really have a lot of money. Like, what am I gonna do? And as I went to pick up my cell phone to call my mom, now mind you, my mom is at work. Something said, don't call her. You can do this. I don't know if I said it to myself or if it was a spirit. I don't know what the hell, but that's the voice I heard in my head was, fix this yourself. Like, you can fix this. So I thought and I thought and I thought I maybe wasted another 10 minutes. And finally, I called a cab. Now, this is before Uber, y'all. So don't be getting on my back about cabs because I know y'all be doing too much criticizing everything I say. But I called a cab and the cab came and I asked the cab to take me to the gas station. The cab took me to the gas station. I asked the cab to wait for me there so I could buy a gas can. I put like $5 or whatever in the gas can and the cab drove me back to the car. I put the gas in the car and I went on about my way to pick up my son. That day, I know this sounds so silly, y'all, and it's so petty and it's a small thing, but that day I fought back. That day I rejected getting help because my natural reaction has started to turn into, I need help. I lost myself. I failed at something miserably, publicly, in a really big way. I failed so bad, y'all, in my life that I lost everything I had. But what it did to me is it robbed me of my confidence. It robbed me of me knowing that I'm a bad bitch. It robbed me of that and made me feel like I was less than, because that's the mentality that I had prescribed myself to. I accepted the fact that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough to make my business work. I wasn't good enough to be successful. I wasn't good enough to figure out how to pay my bills. I wasn't good enough. And once I accepted that I wasn't good enough because I failed, I started behaving like I wasn't good enough. And that was a problem. And I don't know who told me I wasn't good enough, or if I listened to society say that if you fail, you're not good enough. I don't know where that thought that I wasn't good enough came from, but it came from somewhere. And I actually believed it for about 7 months. I believed that I wasn't good enough. I believed that I couldn't fix the issues that I had fallen into on my own. I believed that I couldn't pull myself out of that rut. I believed that I needed to lean on my mom to help me pay bills. I believed that I wasn't capable. I don't know why I believed that. But the bottom line is all that shit was a lie. And I don't know who told me that lie. I don't know if I told myself that lie. I don't know if the devil said that lie to me. But whoever told me that lie, I believed that shit once I failed. Because I was in a bad place. Because I was in a low energy place, because I was in a place where I had failed. And when I failed, something or someone made me believe in that low period of my life that I couldn't do shit on my own. And I forgot who I was. I forgot that I was a bad bitch. I forgot that I was the same woman who raised my son by myself as a single mom. I forgot that I was the woman who had 3 jobs to make ends meet. I forgot that I was a great daughter. daughter. I forgot that I was a wonderful sister. I forgot who I was. And that day, sitting in the car, feeling helpless, feeling like, oh God, I made another mistake. I got to call my mom and get help. That day, I said, I'm not calling no fucking body to get help. I'm going to fix this myself. Y'all, I had like $32 to my name that day. And I used 26 of it to, one, pay the cab, buy the gas can, and put $5 in the gas tank. Go pick up my son and come back. And that day, something happened to me. Something happened that day. I took back my power. I proved to myself that I can do it. Even if I don't have a lot to work with, I got enough to do just what needs to happen. And that's why I wanted to tell you guys that you need to protect your mind. That's why I want to talk about protecting your mind. That's why it's important not to let things, people, enemies, devils, demons, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that's saying to us the negative things that we think, the negative things that we hear, the negative things that we believe. I think, like I said, a lot of it comes from shit we hear on the news, gossip we hear on the radio, drama on social media, commercials about issues and diseases and problems. It's like all we hear all day are things that tell us to be careful, what can't be done, what to watch out for, what to protect yourself from, what issues could arise. We always see what the problems could be. We always lead into things, situations, life, relationships with what the problems could be. But are we not taught to look at things from the positive perspective to see what the possibilities are? 2 P's. You can look for the problem or you can look for the possibility. I know that this episode is probably one that's all over the place. Usually my episodes is damn near spot on, but this one is a little all over the place. And I'm sorry. When I tell y'all personal stories, I'm literally recalling it from memory right in the now. Like, I don't write this stuff down, y'all. This comes off the dome and from the heart. So I say protect your mind because when I was in a low space, when I was in probably the lowest point of my life, something or someone, and again, I don't know where I got the thought from. I can't remember that. But something or someone had me to believe in that low period of my life that I was not capable, that I needed help, that I wasn't equipped, that I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't succeed in the new space that I wanted to be in. And the day that I decided not to ask for help and to fix this very small problem on my own was one little teeny baby step towards me rejecting those negative thoughts. That was me saying, I don't believe this shit because I know who I already was. So I'm not different. I'm the same girl. I just failed at something. That's it. But failure doesn't mean that I'm not still that badass chick who was able to do it all before the failure happened. I'm still her. I just got my ego bruised. I just got my confidence rocked. That's it. But dust yourself off and get back up and start again because you are still the bad motherfucker. Excuse my language, y'all, because I get passionate. You're still that person. You are. It's still there. It's not gone. I know sometimes we struggle with how do I get back there or how did I lose myself? I know we struggle with that. And I'm telling you, how you lost yourself is you're not protecting your mind. You have to protect your mind because everything around us is infusing your mind with negativity, with lack, with belief that you can't do it, with problems, with potential issues, potential problems, potential shortcomings, potential shortfalls, potential of not having enough. That's what we're taught. That's what we hear. That's what we see all day long. And then the people who do make it, the people who do succeed, never tell you about this part. They never tell you about this part where they struggle. They never tell you about the days where they fail. They never tell you about the evictions. They never tell you about the bankruptcies. They never tell you about the struggle. They show you the success and the happiness. So when you go through the struggle, you think, I can't be like that. I can't succeed there. Why? Because you don't think that the people who did do it went through what you're going through. Baby, I promise you that they did. I did. And it wasn't that long ago, y'all. This shit happened in 2013. 2013, y'all. So I'm saying all of that to say, queens, protect your mind. Don't allow all of these negative things that we hear to infiltrate into your mind and then seep into your spirit. It is important, the things that we watch on TV. It is important, the things that we hear people say to us. We have to know what to reject. You have to reject some of these things that you hear. You have to reject them. You have to say, not me, okay? Because what you believe, it manifests. So if you believe a certain thing, you make it happen. Your mind is the controller of everything that you experience every single day. Your mind, it's your mind. So the most important thing is mindset. Now, Queens, I know you've probably heard people say this to you before. You've probably heard about mindset. You've probably heard about positive thinking. You've probably heard that before, and you don't really take it that serious. Well, I'm here to tell you, Queens, please take it serious. It is the most important thing. Strong mind is so important because there are so many people falling into depression. And I personally feel, some people may disagree with me who have like a clinical depression, but I think all that shit starts in your mind. Once you allow the mind to believe that it doesn't have the power to control, you lose control and you lose your power. Everyone has the power to control what you think, or what you don't think, or what you believe, or what you don't believe. 900 million thoughts pass your brain all day. Some of them you can hear like a voice. What you can do is not take on every thought that comes into your mind. You don't have to take it in. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to own it. You can just let it pass. I want you, Queens, to really take this seriously. If this is the first time you've heard this, do some research. Google protecting your mind or Google training your mind, because I'm telling you, it is so important. I have so many people who come to me from, like my son, for example. My son is away in college. He was freaking out just a couple weeks ago about a hurricane. Oh, the hurricane is coming, blah, blah, blah. And he's going crazy, texting me every hour on the hour about they about to shut the Bay Bridge down and I'm not going to have a way to get home. And he was freaking out. But he was freaking out not because that's what the weather was saying. He was freaking out because that's what his classmates were saying. That's what some of the people in the dorm were saying. They were being dramatic. They were over-exaggerating. He was nervous and scared. He wanted to come home. So I went and picked him up because he was getting on my damn nerves. He was freaking out. During the drive back, I had a conversation with him about, son, you cannot let what people tell you infiltrate you. You can't just react because someone told you something. There's no merit behind it. Did you do any of your own research? Why do you believe that? Is that the outcome that you want? And that's a huge one. Is that the outcome that you want? You should never believe something if it's not the outcome that you want. You have to learn how to train your mind to see the positive and to believe in the outcome that you want. If it's not the outcome that you want, reject it. And some people will say, well, that's not being very realistic. But what the fuck is realistic? Realistic is what you choose. There's no such thing as realistic. Realistic is what you believe it is. Realistic is relative. Everybody's realistic can be totally different. Because at the end of the day, after all that drama, nothing even happened. The daggone hurricane didn't even get close enough to his school for it to be an issue. There wasn't even one goddamn drop of rain. So that's my point. Realistic is you believe something, but what was real wasn't even happening. Nothing even happened. And I think we do that a lot. We hear what people say. We take in other people's thoughts. We take in other people's energy. We hear all of the negativity, y'all. I'm telling you, the universe has so much negativity. The frequency of most people is very low. People love drama. People love gossip. And I know we do some gossiping on this show, but y'all hear, this show is all about positive. We take every story and we turn it into a positive. We're not on here beating people up. We're not on here celebrating people's failures. We're not on here talking about girls and their issues and their problems, laughing, making light of it, being entertained by it. Absolutely not. We are here talking about said problems and how the queens are overcoming, honey. That's what we're doing. We're positive. So protect your mind. Train your mind to see only that of which you want and you hope for, and believe that. Don't believe the negative. Don't believe the problems. Don't believe the potential issues. Don't even see that, okay? My husband had a situation a couple weeks ago where his job told him it was going to start to get a little slower. And my husband, he went into a panic. Oh my gosh, this is a problem. My thing is, honey, is that what you want? Do you want it to be a problem? No. Well, then don't believe that it will be. You don't even have to believe what they're telling you. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You don't have to believe it. You can hear it and you can observe it and you can nod at it and say, okay, but it doesn't mean you have to believe it. It doesn't mean you have to take it in as fact, because what if it doesn't get slow. Or what if it gets slow for everybody else, but because you're the best driver they got, shit, they gonna give you all the work. What if that message was to everybody else but you and a few others? So that's why you can't take in what everybody says. It may not apply to you, and it won't if you choose not to believe it. So I just wanted to drop that on you guys today. You guys know, queens, I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much that I be willing to share my personal stories and be telling y'all stuff that's embarrassing. But if it can help, then that's all that matters to me. So again, protect your mind, queens, especially when you're in a low place, especially when you're going through a tough time, especially when you're in the midst of a challenge. Protect your mind. How do you protect your mind? I'm going to talk more about that in another episode to give you guys some resources and some tips and some things to do. How I might even create a little group where we talk about protecting our mind every week. And I'll tell y'all one real quick nugget, how I protect my mind. I read a lot. I read. I don't watch a whole bunch of TV. I mean, I do have some shows that are my guilty pleasures, but for the most part, I don't watch a whole bunch of TV. I read a lot. I read a lot of positive, inspiring, self-help, self-care type books. I read a lot of motivational speaker books. You have to protect your mind. You want your mind to stay in a positive state, even if it's negative things going on around you, even if people are telling you or warning you about potential negative things. You can choose to believe that the best situation will come out of those. That's what you can choose to believe. Okay, so train your mind, protect your mind, think only and believe only what you want to manifest in your life. So that is my message for my queens today. I love you queens so much. I hope you know that. Please make sure you go and you subscribe on either SoundCloud, Apple iPods, Google Play, Spotify. You guys know I'm pretty much everywhere. Or go to the website and sign up for the newsletter so that you get notified when there's a new episode. You can also follow me on Instagram at All Queens Army Podcast. And I love you, queens. I hope you have an amazing Monday. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions or if you need support. All Queens Army is a community for women, and it is about support. So I love you, queens, so much. Please give us a rating. Give me some feedback on the episodes and tell me what you think. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, queens.
Thank you for listening to the All Queens Army podcast. If you want to connect with Breizy Time and the All Queens Army, be sure to follow them on IG and Facebook at All Queens Army. Or head over and check out the All Queens Army YouTube channel. Until next time.